Everyone. Today's PowerPoint is based off of tonight's reading that was assigned, which was from the World Health Organization looking at group interpersonal therapy or IPT for depression. So we looked at the WHO manual, and the guide really represented a comprehensive and evidence based approach to addressing depression, which, as many of you know, is a leading cause of disability worldwide. And it's part of the WHO's effort to expand access to mental health care, particularly in low and middle income countries. So let's dive into the details of this innovative program. So, group interpersonal therapy, or group IPT, is a structured psychological intervention for managing depression in this case. Um, it's based on the premise that our mood and interpersonal relationships are closely interconnected. Originally developed in the 1970s for individual therapy, IPT has since been adapted into group formats by many organizations, including the World Health Organization, to make it more accessible. And the group format also leverages the power of shared experiences and mutual support. So, depression is one of the most common mental health challenges affecting over 350 million people globally, and it's the leading cause of disability and can significantly impair one's ability to function in daily life, be it at work, school, or home. So, beyond the individual, the effects of depression ripple out to families and communities, and in severe cases, of course, depression can even lead, as we know, to suicide. And so it's a real critical area of focus for public health interventions. The primary aim of group IPT is to address interpersonal issues that often contribute to depression. Specifically, it focuses on four key problem areas: grief, interpersonal disputes, life challenges, and loneliness or social isolation. So, through the program, participants are guided to identify the root of their challenges and learn effective ways to manage these issues. This process ultimately helps improve their emotional well being and overall quality of life. Group IPT typically consists of 6 to 10 participants per group, with sessions lasting around 90 minutes, and the intervention is delivered over 8 weekly sessions. So, in some contexts, groups may meet more frequently to fit schedules or logistical needs, and for cultural and practical reasons, it's often recommended to have separate groups for men and women. Again, know your audience. But importantly, all facilitators need to receive appropriate training and supervision to ensure that the program is delivered effectively. So let's take a closer look at the four main problem areas addressed by group IPT as evidenced in our reading. First is grief, which involves mourning the loss of a loved one. Second are disputes. These could be conflicts within families, workplaces, or communities. Third is life changes such as marriage, illness, or moving to a new place. And lastly, loneliness and social isolation focus on building connections and addressing feelings of being disconnected from others. So each session is designed to provide targeted strategies to help participants address these challenges. Group IPT is divided into four phases. The pre-group phase involves individual meetings with potential participants to assess their depression and set goals. The initial phase introduces group members to each other and begins discussions on depression and interpersonal issues. And the middle phase is the heart of the intervention, where interpersonal problems are addressed in detail. Finally, the termination phase wraps up the sessions by reflecting on progress and planning next steps for ongoing recovery. The strategies used in group IPT include linking participants' depression to specific interpersonal issues they are facing. So, group discussions and mutual support are encouraged to help members learn from one another's experiences. Communication skills are taught and practiced within the group setting, which members can then apply in their daily lives. And facilitators also assign practical exercises to help participants reinforce what they've learned outside the group. Group IPT has been shown to be an effective approach to managing depression. It's particularly valuable in resource limited settings because it's cost effective and can be scaled to serve larger populations. Additionally, by focusing on interpersonal skills and building social support networks, group IPT offers lasting benefits that extend beyond the therapy sessions themselves. Okay, so I also want to talk about the chapters in Corey. This chapter two is focused on leadership, and so we'll look at essential qualities, challenges, and skills required for effective leadership in group counseling. This is probably a refresher for you. We'll also examine how diversity and multicultural competence play a role in creating successful group experiences. So, effective group leaders possess several critical qualities. They include empathy, genuineness, respect for the group members, and confidence in their abilities. The leaders must also prioritize their personal growth, fostering self awareness and engaging in continuous learning to remain effective in their roles. Group leaders may adopt different styles of leadership, including authoritarian, democratic, and laissez faire approaches. Each style has its own advantages and challenges, and so effective leaders often adapt their style based on the group's needs, dynamics, and objectives. Core skills for group leaders include active listening, conflict resolution, and goal setting. Leaders must also be adept at managing group dynamics and ensuring that sessions begin and end on a productive note. And these skills help maintain a cohesive and effective group environment. In diverse group settings, cultural sensitivity is vital. Leaders must acknowledge their own biases, learn about the cultural backgrounds of their members, and actively create an inclusive environment. This competence strengthens trust and participation within the group. This chapter in Corey was looking at early stages in group development, and it was focusing on pre-group formation, orientation, and exploration, which basically these stages lay the foundation for successful group processes. I don't know why I left the chapter number off on this slide. Okay. Um, I'm discombobulated by that verity. So the pre-group stage involves critical tasks such as recruiting members, screening participants for suitability, and defining group goals. So leaders must also provide informed consent to ensure that participants understand the process and their roles. During the initial stage, the primary focus is on establishing trust and rapport among members while clarifying group norms. Leaders may face challenges such as members' anxiety or hesitancy to share, but these can be addressed by fostering a safe and supportive environment. The transition stage often brings resistance, conflicts, and power struggles. Leaders play a vital role in addressing these issues constructively, encouraging open communication and guiding members toward deeper engagement in the group process. To foster a positive start, leaders can use icebreaker activities, help members clarify their goals, and establish group norms for respect and confidentiality. So these techniques create a solid foundation for the group's progress.